Trying to save a dolphin that washed up on Gilgo Beach. Officer Ron Call and his partner Paul Brodowski were given citations today. They were able to keep the dolphin stabilized for 2.5 hours until the Riverhead Foundation could make it to the beach, though the dolphin did later die. The officers say they're used to dealing with people, so to them, this was really going above and beyond the call of duty.
At the beginning, the dolphin was very, let's call it anxious, but I couldn't relate to it. But after it knew we were not there to hurt it, it was very nice to us.
The men say it's a story they will tell their grandkids.
Yeah. Also in the news tonight, buyer beware. There could be a sales tax hike coming down the pike in Nassau. Or News 12 Long Island Sherry Einhorn caught up with the county executive.
I really haven't been a homeowner too long.
East Meadows' Dwayne Saunders is happy about his new home, not the $9 grand he's paying in property taxes.
It's kind of high. It's very high.
Now, Nassau's county exec isn't proposing a property tax hike in his 2011 budget, but Ed Mangano is asking for $61 million in givebacks from the county's labor unions. He says he needs the money to balance his $2.6 billion budget. Is $61 million reasonable?
I don't believe $61 million is an achievable number. I don't believe the county executive ever could have hoped for $61 million worth of concessions.
So the big question now is what happens if those concessions don't come through? Some folks here are speculating that a sales tax increase could be an option. Now, Mangano sidestepped the question, telling me it was way too soon to go there. Will you increase sales tax in Nassau County?
There are other actions that we could take. There's been many things that have been spoken about. We don't have any position on that issue at all right now.
You have no position on raising sales tax?
No, we're solely focused on achieving savings.
Taxpayers like Harold Sussman say they're focused on their household budget and say raising the sales tax would simply be unfair.
Everything else is going up in the county, and income is not going up. How do people are going to afford the sales tax?
In the meantime, Mangano and the unions all agree they're making headway. But whether that's enough to balance the budget, well, that remains to be seen. In Mineola, I'm Sherry Einhorn, News 12 Long Island.
The head of the county's largest union, CSEA Local 830, tells News 12 his members are willing to help out just as they've done in the past. But he warns real structural reform is needed, not just labor concessions. Nassau officials are hoping to get millions of dollars in concessions from county unions, and they are set to use a new untested strategy to do it. News 12 Long Island's Jill Wagner has the story.
Day off to donate blood. What about collecting money to advance your education, whether you take a class or not?
I wish we all got that.
Yeah, that sounds a little sketchy.
No layoff provision, annual salary increases, longevity pay.
Nassau executive Ed Mangano entitlements that make up some of the county workforce contracts, and Nassau simply can't afford it. Today, he said if the unions won't negotiate concessions starting in 2012, he wants the legislature to give him the power to open Taxpayer Relief Act.
Savings can be achieved through voluntary negotiations or through the empowerment of this act.
But union leaders say there's no point in negotiating a contract if the county executive can just rip it up. Larry Laracuda says his union has already agreed to millions in concessions. He says they've been negotiating with Mangano on future cuts, but they don't want to give back anything until they're assured the NIFA board won't take over the county's finances. The state county's 2011 budget is balanced.
I think he needs to convince NIFA that his 2011 budget is balanced, and then I'm sure that all the unions will be sitting down with him looking to help for the future years. I know we will.
Mangano insists his 2011 budget is balanced. Taxpayers like Michael Rissenhouse just hoping the county can live within its means.
If they're not, then the county's going to go broke.
In Mineola, Jill Wagner, News 12 Long Island.
NIFA has given Mangano until January 20th to approve his budget for this year, or to prove it rather, is balanced. And Jill has more about this.
Also tonight, NASA's largest union has reached a tentative agreement with the county on a new contract. News 12 Long Island's Jill Wagner has that story. She joins us now from the newsroom. Jill.
Well, Judy, the county executive and the union president are hammering out the final